Hi everyone and welcome back. In this video we will talk about what is botnet. So a botnet is a short for reboot network. So this network is a network of compromised computers or devices. So we can say that this is a bots or zombies. Like for example, to do this for you much easier to understand, just imagine if you remember we had a reverse shell. So we had a server, yeah, so our malicious so actually our attacker, so we, for example, yeah, that's our server, and we had a client. We created a server to handle only one connection, so our server was able to handle only one client, yeah. So that means that we have only one client in our network. But what if actually we will create so we will actually recreate our server to be able to handle, for example, 2 and more clients. So already 3 and so on, 1,000, 10,000, 100,000, and so on. We can do this, and I will show you how to do this. And then we will be able to actually handle so many clients. And that means that this is not a reverse shell, but this is a botnet. So this is our network of compromised computers, yeah, that we added to our botnet, so to our network, and now we can actually control them. We can execute commands on them. We can actually send them a command to make DDoS attack. If you don't know what DDoS is, so just imagine a website. DOS attack is actually denial of service. And when one attacker, so for example, we have only one computer, and one computer sends a lots of packets on the same server. That will be okay for the server. For nowadays, it's not a crucial problem. But what if we have a big network of bots, so our botnet, yeah, network of compromised devices, different devices. So let's say 100. So if 100 devices in the same time will send thousands packets to this server will not work. So a website will actually freeze. It will not work. Another people will not be able to enter to this website, and so on. Let's say that we have 1,000, 10,000, and so on bots. That's a really big problem. So that's what botnet is. There is a lot of different botnets. We can use botnets for spamming something on, for example, social medias. Yeah, we can use SSH botnet that I will show you in this module. So what is SSH botnet? There is SSH botnet, spam botnet, a traditional botnet, and many other botnets. But for example, the main difference between traditional and actually SSH botnet is that SSH botnet is much easier to code. Everything that you need to handle SSH connection. So, for example, you actually got a connection to, you actually hacked SSH service, yeah? And you can now connect this SSH service to your botnet. So the things that we should do in SSH botnet, we need to create a code that is able to handle a lot of different SSH connections, so SSH sessions. And then we can use these sessions to actually execute commands on these sessions. We can actually execute command to actually do DDoS attack, so synth flooding attack, for example, and so on. So that's what is SSH. So it's really easy to code, and I will show you how to do this. And traditional botnet is much harder. I will show you the most advanced techniques how to code the best traditional SSH um, botnet. So you will have security bypasses, you will have a lot of different functionalities inside this code, but I will not show everything because I want you to create some codes by yourself. So you will develop this code much better. So I will give you some ideas what you can do and so on. So yeah, in this module we will talk about SSH botnet. So we will create a code with SSH, and actually we will handle a lot of different SSHs. So to the last thing that we need, actually SSH botnet will work in average on Linux. So we will create our SSH botnet on Linux because there is SSH installed. We have actually tested this and so on. So hope to see you in the next video. Have a nice day and bye.